Breathe deeply, letting the weight of the day dissolve into your bed. As your muscles soften, the heavy pull of gravity begins to fade. You are rising now, drifting beyond the clouds into a velvet, ink-black stillness. Welcome to the silent cradle of the cosmos. You have arrived. In this vacuum, sound is a forgotten concept. There is only the steady, rhythmic hum of your life support, a gentle companion in the stillness. You are suspended in a sea of shadow and starlight, watching the earth rotate below, a slow, sapphire marble turning in the sun's eternal light. Your movements are governed by a gentle, frictionless grace. Without air to push against, you glide through the void like a ghost of light. To your left, the Milky Way arches in a long, dusty ribbon of cream and silver, the ancient breath of a billion suns. All is rhythmic, all is calm. Your gold-coated visor filters the sun's radiance, bathing your view in a soft amber hue. Here, the laws of motion are fluid and patient. Every inch you drift is a testament to inertia, a steady, unceasing journey through the dark, where every star is a distant, pulsing beacon of peace. You feel the sun's warmth on one side of your suit, while the other faces the cool, deep shadows. This thermal balance is a delicate whisper of physics. Below, the atmosphere glows in a thin electric blue line, a fragile opal veil of gas, shielding life in the absolute quiet. You are falling now, not down, but around. This is the miracle of orbit, a continuous embrace where gravity and velocity find perfect balance. You are a satellite of thought, traveling 17,000 miles an hour. Yet to your senses, you are perfectly still, cradled by the invisible hands of physics. The silence here is profound, a lack of vibration that clears the mind. Within your helmet, the only sound is the rhythmic hiss of air, a tiny, life-giving breeze. Outside, the stars don't twinkle. They burn with a steady, unyielding light, frozen in the stillness of the deep vacuum. The earth below glows with reflected sunlight, its albedo, a soft, white radiance that illuminates the underside of your spacecraft. You watch as a massive spiral of clouds, a silent hurricane, drifts across the Pacific. From this height, even the most powerful storms are but a quiet, marble-like swirl of lace. You are now approaching the terminator line, the soft boundary where day meets night. The vibrant blues of the ocean fade into a deep, bruised purple. Here, the sun sets every 90 minutes, a clockwork spectacle of gold, orange, and crimson bleeding into the vast, welcoming dark of the shadow. As the sun slips below the horizon, the darkness becomes total and velvet. The stars, once dimmed by solar glare, now bloom with crystalline clarity. Below, the continents are outlined by the golden webs of city lights, like embers glowing safely in a vast ancient heart. A pale emerald ribbon begins to snake across the polar horizon. This is the aurora, a silent dance of solar wind colliding with the upper atmosphere. Ghostly greens and faint violets shimmer and sway, neon curtains drawn across the dark. You drift above it, a silent witness to this magnetic ballet. You are connected to your ship by a thin, sturdy umbilical, a silver lifeline in the dark. It undulates behind you like a ribbon in water. Every subtle breath you take creates a faint condensation on your visor, which quickly vanishes, leaving you alone with the ancient, unblinking stars. Beyond the earth, the moon appears a bone-white marble, etched with the scars of aeons. Without an atmosphere to blur its features, every crater is a sharp, silent memory of time. You watch it hang there, a steady anchor in the dark, governed by the same ancient gravity that holds you. Look closer at the stars. They are not merely white pinpricks. You see the subtle, fiery sapphire of young giants and the cool ember glow of red dwarfs. In the vacuum, light travels undisturbed, arriving at your eyes exactly as it was born millions of years ago, in the silent furnace of a distant sun. Between the stars, you glimpse the faint, ghost-like glow of a nebula. These are the nurseries of the cosmos, vast clouds of hydrogen and dust illuminated by newborn light. They are soft, gossamer veils drifting across the dark, shaped over eons by the patient, invisible fingers of gravity. Total serenity. Your suit is a miniature world, a pressurized cocoon of safety. Inside, the air is recycled and cool, carrying the faint metallic scent of the stars. Outside, the vacuum is absolute, a perfect insulator where heat leaves your body only as invisible waves of infrared light drifting into the cold. The horizon begins to glow again as you orbit toward the dawn. A sliver of brilliant white light peeks over the Earth's curve, casting long, sharp shadows across the metal of your station. This cycle of light and shadow repeats every 90 minutes, a rhythmic, celestial heartbeat in the deep, welcoming dark. The sun's rays strike the station's solar panels, turning them into sheets of shimmering gold. In the vacuum, this light is pure and steady. You watch the slow, rhythmic crawl of shadow across the hull, a silent sundial, marking your effortless glide through the velvet embrace of the void. In this state of perpetual freefall, your body feels entirely liberated. There is no up, no down, only the gentle presence of the stars. Below, the turquoise reefs of the tropics shimmer like scattered emeralds against the deep indigo sea, a slow-motion gallery of earthly beauty passing beneath your feet. At the edge of the Earth's curve, the atmosphere reveals its layers. A dense, brilliant cerulean transitions into a soft, hazy violet. This thin shell of gas, held by the gentle pull of gravity, is the only barrier between the vibrant life below and the cold, silent infinite. In this perfect vacuum, there is no wind to stir the dust or chill your skin. Heat radiates from your suit in slow, invisible waves. You are a solitary island of warmth, drifting through a sea of absolute stillness, where the only motion is the patient, eternal rotation of the heavens. Turn your gaze toward the galactic core, a dense, creamy river of light arching across the sky. Thousands of years of history are captured in that soft, golden glow. In the vacuum, this ancient light arrives with a crystalline purity, a silent, rhythmic pulse from the very heart of home. Your suit's cooling garment hums with a faint, rhythmic pulse, circulating water to maintain your perfect warmth. It is a soft, mechanical heartbeat. This constant cycle, regulated by the unyielding laws of thermodynamics, ensures your absolute comfort within the vast, silent cold. You are safe, warm, and perfectly held. The Earth's limb is a thin, glowing arc of sapphire and indigo. Without the distortion of an atmosphere, the stars do not flicker. They are steady, unblinking eyes watching your slow passage. This is the serenity of the vacuum, where light travels in straight, perfect lines through the eternal, comforting dark. The vacuum is not a void, but a vast field of potential. You are wading through the soft, invisible streams of the solar wind, a gentle tide of protons flowing from the sun. Around you, the light of distant galaxies arrives as a soft, pearlescent glow, ancient and unchanging. The sun's light catches the edge of a vast, white desert below Antarctica. The ice reflects a blinding, pure radiance, glowing like a diamond against the dark. The Earth rotates at its own ancient pace, a rhythmic, silent turn that has continued for billions of years, steady and unchanging. You are moving, yet the stars remain fixed, an unchanging backdrop of silver on obsidian. This is the beauty of vast distance. Even at great speeds, the heavens appear perfectly still. It is a slow, cosmic choreography, where you are both a traveler and a stationary observer of infinity. Your visor reflects the distant silver pinpricks of the stars. Here, light is unfiltered, a pure spectrum traveling through the void. You watch as the sun's rays catch the thin, crystalline layers of the upper atmosphere, scattering blue light into a soft, hazy glow that hugs the Earth's dark core. Gravity is the silent composer of this celestial ballet. It keeps the Earth in its path, and you in your gentle orbit. You are held by an invisible ancient hand, a physical harmony that requires no effort. The void is a warm embrace, a dark ocean where time slows down. The Earth beneath you is a masterpiece of fluid dynamics. Clouds swirl in slow-motion spirals of white, reflecting the sun's pure light. There is no sound to accompany this movement, only the visual rhythm of the planet's breath, a silent, majestic display of weather patterns, as seen from the quiet edge of infinity. As you move your hand, you notice how sunlight glints off your white gloves. In the absolute vacuum, there is no scattering of light, making the highlights sharp and the shadows deep. You are a solitary figure of brilliance against the dark, drifting through a silent, cosmic ocean of peace. The vacuum around you is perfectly transparent. Because there are no particles to scatter it, the starlight is raw and ancient. Each photon has traveled across the void for centuries, finally ending its journey on your retina. You are seeing the universe as it was, a silent, luminous history. Your silver tether undulates in slow, rhythmic waves, a silent lifeline in the deep. Below, the Sahara passes in a sweep of ochre and burnt orange, its sand dunes frozen like waves of gold. In this vacuum, colors are vibrant and true, unfurling in the steady, patient light of eternity. In the absence of an atmosphere, the laws of thermodynamics work with a slow, silent grace. You notice the station's metallic skin contracting as it enters the Earth's shadow, a microscopic, soundless shift. This is the universe's clockwork, a rhythmic expansion and contraction of matter in the perfect, comforting quiet. In this deepening gloom, your suit's internal systems continue their quiet work. A soft hum you feel more than hear. Your body is light, almost weightless. You are a consciousness drifting through a sea of motion, where the simple grace of inertia carries you patiently into the silver-dusted dark. Above you, the constellations appear as fixed diamonds in a velvet sky. Without the atmosphere's interference, their colors are distinct, burning rubies, cold sapphires, and golden topazes. Each star is a silent, pulsing heart, beating in a time frame far beyond our own, offering a steady light in the deep, comforting dark. The Earth beneath you now glows with a soft, reflected radiance known as earthshine. It is a gentle, ghostly illumination that bathes the dark side of your station in a cool, silver-blue tint. Even in the shadows, you are never truly in darkness. The planet shares its light with you. Within your suit, your breath is a soft, rhythmic tide. Beyond the glass, the vacuum remains a perfect insulator, holding your warmth close. Light from distant stars travels through this stillness, unhindered by air or dust, arriving as pure, ancient signals of peace in the deep, silent dark. Feel the soft, invisible push of solar radiation, the pressure of light itself. This silent force, a gentle breeze of photons, nudges everything in its path, It is a subtle, constant reminder of the sun's influence. Even here, in the quiet dark, you drift on this ethereal tide, perfectly peaceful. Observe the faint neon green halo hugging the Earth's curve. This is the air glow, a silent chemical reaction of atoms releasing the day's absorbed energy into the night. It is a soft, luminescent ring, a ghostly border between the living world and the infinite, tranquil silence of the cosmic void. You are a master of inertia. In this frictionless sea, every movement you make is preserved with perfect grace. If you gently tap your gloved fingers, you feel the subtle ripple of energy. You are weightless, a celestial dancer in a theater of silence, where time flows as steady as starlight. The station's skin is a patchwork of gold and silver insulation, crinkling silently in the vacuum. These layers shield the internal warmth from the biting cold of the shadow. You watch the light skip across these surfaces, a rhythmic play of brilliance and depth as you glide through eternity. The Earth's edge is a prism. As you glide, sunlight passes through the dense air at an angle, scattering shortwave blues and leaving behind the deep, rich reds of 1,000 simultaneous sunsets. This chromatic gradient is a silent, rhythmic bloom, a symphony of color playing across the obsidian stage. Every metallic surface around you remains perfectly clean, untouched by the erosion of wind or rain. In the absence of air, there is no rust, no decay. You are surrounded by a silent geometry of polished titanium, glowing softly under the unblinking, steady gaze of a billion ancient sun. You are a part of this mechanical and celestial harmony. Below, the continents are mere shadows, but the oceans reflect the moon's pale light. This rhythmic exchange of energy, light to dark, heat to cold, is the pulse of the universe. You are drifting, weightless, within this eternal, silent clockwork. Consider the distant nebulae, gossamer clouds of hydrogen and oxygen glowing in ethereal pinks and green. These gases are the breath of the universe, expanding at a pace so deliberate it appears as a permanent, silent sculpture. Within this stillness, time is measured not in hours, but in light. The light of a distant red giant reaches you now, its photons traveling through the vacuum for centuries with effortless grace. You are drifting through this stream of ancient energy, a silent observer of the universe's slow, rhythmic expansion. Everything is connected by the patient, invisible threads of gravity. The dust of ancient comets drifts through this vacuum, invisible until it catches the sun's glow. This faint, pearlescent haze, the zodiacal light, is a silent testament to the solar system's long memory. You move through it effortlessly, a weightless observer of the slow, rhythmic dance of planetary leftovers. The sun's light catches the edge of your glove, highlighting the intricate weave of the fabric. In this vacuum, heat transfer occurs only through radiation, a slow, invisible exchange of energy. You are a warm hearth in a cool, dark ocean, drifting through a symphony of silent, mathematical precision. Your orbital path is a perfect circle, a mathematical grace etched into the dark. Below, the city lights of Tokyo sparkle like a fallen galaxy, a web of golden threads woven through the indigo night. You are soaring silently, held by the gentle, unyielding curve of space-time itself. The vacuum is filled with invisible fields, magnetic lines, arching from pole to pole. You cannot feel them, but they are the silent conductors of the solar wind. Above, the stars remain cold and steady, their ancient light arriving in a rhythmic stream that guides your effortless journey through the dark. Without the haze of air, the light of distant galaxies is a sharp, steady needle of silver. It pierces the velvet dark without a flicker. You are moving through this starlight, a weightless voyager in a sea of shadow, where every breath is a soft, rhythmic prayer to the infinite. You feel the phantom tug of centrifugal force, a silent counterpoint to gravity's embrace. Below, the great Amazon basin stretches out like emerald velvet under the moon. The rhythm of the planet's rotation is a slow, patient metronome, marking time as you drift through the light-streaked stillness of the deep. You are drifting through the exosphere, the outermost fringe where the Earth's breath thins into nothing. Here, lone molecules travel miles without ever touching another. It is a place of ultimate solitude, where the atmosphere yields to the vacuum in a slow, silent, and perfectly invisible transition. The starlight around you is a steady, unwavering pour of silver. Without air to refract the rays, the colors are deep and pure, burning magentas and icy cyans. You watch as these colors shift with every slow degree of your orbit, a rhythmic kaleidoscope of light in the absolute silent void. Imagine the station's massive thermal panels, shedding excess heat into the void as invisible waves. This silent cooling is the heartbeat of your vessel, a rhythmic exchange between the sun's fire and the deep cold. You are safe here, floating within the clockwork of the heavens, perfectly still, perfectly calm. The Milky Way arches overhead, a trillion ancient suns merging into a single creamy ribbon of light. It rotates with a majesty that defies human time, a slow-motion wheel of silver and dust. You are a microscopic witness to this grand, silent rotation, drifting in the soft gravitational pull of home. Your orbit is a silent repetition, a journey through shadow and shine that never tires. Below, the Earth's features shift with patient grace from the high, snow-dusted Himalayas to the deep indigo Pacific. This constant, gentle cycle is the pulse of your voyage, a slow and rhythmic dance through infinity. The sun's reflection dances upon the Pacific, a blinding silver spark that tracks your progress across the globe. This is specular reflection, light bouncing off the water with mirror-like precision. It is a silent, rhythmic glint, a steady companion as you glide through the velvet embrace of the dark. The absolute silence of the vacuum is not empty. It is a profound presence. Without air to carry sound, the universe expresses itself through light and motion alone. You are a silent observer in a silent theater, watching the earth breathe in colors and the stars pulse in the deep, quiet dark. In the vacuum, stars do not twinkle. They are steady, unblinking observers of your slow passage. Without an atmosphere to distort their beams, starlight is a constant, unwavering stream of silver. You are drifting through a gallery of ancient light, held in the quiet, rhythmic orbit of a world at peace. Below, the white expanse of the Arctic reflects the sun's glare with a blinding purity. Ice, carved by millennia, appears as a silent frozen sea. As you drift over the pole, the Earth's magnetic fields reach out a silent, invisible tether, connecting your atoms to the planet's ancient core. From the poles, you drift back toward the equator. The Earth's rotation brings a new continent into view, a silent tapestry of deep greens and sandy gold. Every movement is effortless, governed by the slow, rhythmic laws of inertia. You are part of the universe's clockwork, moving with timeless grace. The station's solar arrays pivot with silent mechanical grace, tracking the sun's steady glow. They are vast golden wings drinking in a river of photons. You watch the light ripple across their surfaces, a rhythmic harvest of energy, powering your life as you glide through the quiet, amber-tinted void. Look toward the Earth's curve once more. That thin electric blue line is the atmosphere, a fragile skin of oxygen and nitrogen. Sunlight scatters through it, creating a soft, luminous halo. From here, You see how precious it is, a rhythmic shield of gas held by gravity's gentle, silent hand. In this silent cathedral, the vacuum acts as a perfect stillness. Your orbit is a steady, predictable arc, a rhythmic signature written in the dark. Without air to carry sound, you observe the universe through pure light, a slow, grand movement of colors that marks the passage of eternal time. The vacuum is the ultimate insulator, a perfect shield of nothingness. Your suit radiates heat in slow, invisible waves of infrared light, dispersing your warmth into the infinite dark. It is a quiet, thermodynamic exchange, a rhythmic breathing of energy between your small world and the vast, silent sea of stars. The sun appears here in its truest form, a brilliant white star against the absolute black. Without an atmosphere to scatter its light, it shines with a steady, unwavering intensity. Its rays strike the station in sharp, geometric lines, a rhythmic pour of pure energy into the silent, waiting dark. Every movement you make is a lesson in patience. In this frictionless environment, there is no resistance, only the slow, rhythmic glide of your body through the dark. You are part of the Earth's mass now, falling forever in a circle of light and shadow, cradled by the invisible arms of gravity. As you glide, the Earth's night side reveals a new beauty. Thunderstorms flicker in the distance, silent flashes of light like fireflies in a jar. These electrical pulses are the heartbeat of the planet, muffled by the vacuum, a rhythmic display of energy far below your quiet, weightless path. The silence of the vacuum is a heavy, velvet blanket. You are cocooned in your suit, a warm bubble of life in the infinite. Above, the stars are older than memory. Their light travels millions of years to touch your visor, a rhythmic pulse from the heart of the past. As you cross back into the sunlight, the transition is gradual. You are drifting through the penumbra, the Earth's soft shadow. Colors return in a slow, silent flood, first a deep violet, then a burning orange, until the full brilliance of the sun bathes your suit in its warm, steady glow. The sun's light is more than a vision. It is a gentle, physical pressure. Millions of photons strike your gold-plated visor in a silent, rhythmic stream. You are bathed in this ancient energy, a golden warmth held against the deep, velvet dark by the thin, protective layers of your suit. Without an atmosphere to drag upon your progress, you glide with perfect efficiency. The vacuum is a realm of absolute stillness, where the only movement is the slow, rhythmic turning of the Earth and the steady, ancient stream of starlight that illuminates your quiet, weightless journey through the deep. The sunlight glints off the station's white hull, creating sharp, silent reflections. Below, the atmosphere reveals its layers, a soft, glowing transition from deep cerulean to the ink of the void. You are drifting through a sea of light and shadow, held by the steady, rhythmic pull of the Earth's gravity. Starlight here is unfiltered. Without the atmosphere's haze, it reaches your eyes in straight, pure lines. You see the subtle reds of ancient giants and the cold blues of newborn stars. They are steady, silent anchors in the dark, guiding your slow, weightless glide through the velvet cosmic ocean. The silence of the vacuum is mirrored by the stillness within your suit. Without air to carry heat away, a sublimator releases tiny crystals of ice into the void. This silent phase change draws warmth from your body, a rhythmic, microscopic exhale that keeps you cool against the sun's unfiltered radiation. Below, the turquoise waters of the Caribbean shimmer like scattered sapphires. Even from this height, the coral reefs are visible through the thin veil of air, a slow-motion gallery of earthly beauty. You glide over them, a silent witness to the rhythmic, ancient dance of light upon the deep ocean. The sapphire glow of the atmosphere is a silent testament to light's journey through the air. Beyond it, the vacuum is a perfect clarity. You are a weightless observer, drifting through a sea of shadow and silver, where the clockwork of the universe turns with effortless, rhythmic grace. Turn your gaze outward, away from the blue marble. The Milky Way arches in a soft, creamy ribbon across the velvet dark. These are the ancient, silent breaths of a billion suns, their light arriving in a slow, rhythmic stream that has traveled for aeons to reach your eyes. The silver ribbon of your tether undulates behind you, a slow motion dance in the void. Within your suit, you sense the faint scent of ionized particles, the metallic whisper of the stars. You are drifting, weightless, through a sea of shadow and ancient silver-blue light. All is calm. The station's metallic skin is a patchwork of gold and silver insulation. As you glide into the Earth's shadow, your suit's internal heaters respond with a silent, rhythmic pulse. This thermal balance is a masterpiece of physics, keeping you cradled in a warm sanctuary against the absolute cold of the deep velvet dark. As you drift deeper into the shadow, the vibrant colors of day surrender to the soft, ghostly hues of earthshine. The planet below is a dark sapphire, etched with the glowing veins of human life. You are a silent sentinel, weightless and serene, suspended in the universe's cool, quiet embrace. In the shadow's depth, the stars lose their shimmer and become steady, piercing needles of light. Without an atmosphere to dance through, starlight is a constant, unyielding presence. You are floating through a sea of frozen fire, a weightless wanderer, guided by the rhythmic pulse of distant, ancient suns. Light here travels as a silent, unwavering wave, undisturbed by the friction of air. You watch a sunbeam strike the station's edge, scattering into a soft spectrum of violet and gold. This is the universe's quietest rhythm, the slow, eternal march of photons through the deep, welcoming stillness of the void. Space is a desert of atoms. In the thin exosphere, the few molecules that remain are miles apart. Without air to diffuse the sun's glare, the shadows are sharp and absolute. You drift through this mathematical clarity, a weightless point of light in the universe's quiet, unchanging clockwork. Inside your helmet, the life support hums a rhythmic, mechanical lullaby. You notice the faint metallic scent of the stars, a result of high-energy particles interacting with your suit's fabric. It is a quiet, chemical signature of the void, drifting with you through the silent, silver-dusted dark of infinity. Moonlight now glints off the Earth's vast oceans, creating a path of silver that follows your orbital curve. Below, the tides are being pulled by the moon's quiet gravity, a rhythmic rise and fall of water you observe in perfect silence. You are a weightless passenger in this ancient watery ballet. Beyond the curve of the Earth, a distant planet catches your eye, Jupiter, a steady, unblinking amber jewel. Its light travels across the solar system with a patient, rhythmic grace. You are part of this grand alignment, a silent traveler in a clockwork universe where every motion is a slow, weightless prayer. You are now at the midpoint of your orbit, suspended between the day and the coming dark. The station glides over the terminator line again, where the world below is swallowed by a soft purple dusk. Physics dictates this path, an effortless arc through the silent geometry of the universe's heart. As the sun dips behind the Earth, the atmosphere acts as a lens, A thin, vivid arc of crimson and gold flares briefly before surrendering to the void. In this silence, the station's titanium cooling pipes continue their quiet work, releasing the day's heat into the deep, welcoming cold. In this total shadow, the stars become intense, unblinking eyes. Without the atmosphere's interference, they do not twinkle. They burn with a steady, crystalline light. You are a weightless observer of this ancient radiance, drifting through a vacuum so clear it feels as though the stars are within reach. In this void, the physics of sound are absent. Without air to vibrate, there is only a profound, comforting silence. You are held in a stillness so absolute it feels like a physical embrace. Here, the universe speaks only through the steady, rhythmic pulse of starlight across the infinite dark. As you drift, your eyes adjust to the deep contrast of space. Photons from the most distant galaxies, traveling across billions of years of vacuum, finally reach your retina. They arrive as tiny silver pinpricks of history, a rhythmic stream of ancient light cutting through the velvet, comforting dark. Your body is a masterpiece of inertia, drifting along a curve of gravity that you cannot feel. In this absolute vacuum, you are liberated from the weight of the world, a floating consciousness. Above, the stars remain steady, fixed diamonds on a tapestry of pure, unyielding ink and shadow. Below you, the earth shines in reflected moonlight. The oceans are deep indigo basins, their tides governed by the silent tug of the lunar sister. Every 90 minutes you witness a new dawn. This rhythmic cycle of light and shadow is the heartbeat of your journey through the velvet stillness. The station's thermal blankets, layers of gold and white, shimmer softly in the moon's pale glow. In the vacuum, heat escapes not as a breeze, but as slow, invisible waves of infrared light. This silent radiation is a rhythmic breathing of energy, cooling the station's skin against the deep, ancient dark. Beyond your station, the Milky Way is a river of diamonds and dust, a slow-motion swirl of ancient history. The light you see tonight began its journey long before we walked the earth. It arrives now as a steady, silent pulse, guiding your effortless drift through the comforting, light-dusted dark. The silence here is a profound physical weight. Without air to scatter the light, shadows are deep and razor-sharp. You watch as a sunbeam crawls along your white sleeve, a silent sundial marking your progress. Everything moves with a slow, rhythmic certainty, governed by the ancient, effortless laws of motion. You have reached a point of perfect equilibrium. Below, the continents drift by like slow, golden memories under the sun's steady gaze. The vacuum is not empty. It is a tapestry of light and gravity, a silent home where you are held in a weightless, rhythmic embrace by the stars. In this embrace, the vacuum is so clear that starlight feels like a physical touch upon your visor. You are drifting through invisible magnetic fields, the silent architecture of the solar system. Every breath is a soft, rhythmic counterpoint to the frozen silver beauty of the ancient Milky Way. As you glide along the Earth's limb, the atmosphere acts as a soft lens, bending the sun's rays into a thin electric blue arc. This is Rayleigh scattering on a planetary scale. You watch the light transition from sapphire to deepest indigo, a silent, rhythmic bloom against the eternal, velvety dark. In this perfect vacuum, starlight arrives as a steady, unwavering stream. Without air to refract the beams, the stars do not twinkle. They are sharp, constant jewels pinned to the dark. You are floating through this ancient radiance, a silent passenger in the slow, rhythmic dance of the galaxies. The silence of the void is absolute. yet your mind is full of the universe's quiet hum. You watch a sunbeam dance off the station's gold leaf insulation, a microscopic flash in the infinite. Your orbit is a steady, rhythmic promise of falling forever that feels like the ultimate weightless rest. Below, the Andes appear as a silent, jagged spine of snow and shadow. From this height, the mountains are motionless waves in a terrestrial sea. You glide over them with effortless grace, held by the steady, invisible pull of gravity, a rhythmic constant in a universe of light and velvet stillness. The station's massive radiator panels shed excess warmth into the void. This heat travels as invisible infrared light, a silent energy transition that maintains the perfect balance within. You watch the stars reflected in the polished metal, a rhythmic, shimmering map, guiding your weightless drift through the universe's quiet, mechanical heart. In the absolute clarity of the void, you witness the zodiacal light, a faint, ghostly cone of radiance stretching along the ecliptic. It is the sun's glow reflecting off microscopic dust, the remnants of ancient comets. You are drifting through this pearlescent mist, a silent traveler in the universe's slow, dusty memory. Your orbit carries you forward in a silent, mathematical arc. Sunlight catches the edge of a distant satellite, a brief silver spark in the dark. This is the universe's quietest clockwork, where every rotation is a slow, rhythmic promise of return, held within the vast and welcoming stillness of space. You are drifting through the exosphere, where the Earth's atmosphere finally surrenders to the void. Without the haze of nitrogen and oxygen, the stars burn with a relentless crystalline purity. This is the serenity of absolute clarity, a silent, rhythmic passage through a sea of unblinking light and velvet shadow. The thermal layers of your suit keep you at a perfect, constant temperature, even as you pass through the sun's raw brilliance. Outside, the vacuum remains a silent insulator. You watch the Earth's curve, a thin, glowing bow of sapphire that separates the breathing world from the eternal, light-filled stillness. The stars above are not mere lights. They are ancient history reaching out to you. Each photon has traveled across the vacuum, undisturbed, to touch your visor. You glide forward with a slow, frictionless momentum, a silent witness to the universe's patient, rhythmic clockwork, held in the soft, dark void. The sun casts long, sharp shadows across the station's white hull. Every 90 minutes, you cycle through day and night, a rhythmic, celestial pulse. You are a passenger on a river of gravity, drifting over the deep blue of the Pacific, where the water reflects the sun like a shimmering mirror. In this absolute silence, your own steady heartbeat becomes a soft, rhythmic drum, syncing with the patient rotation of the Earth below. Around you, the vacuum remains perfectly clear, allowing the ancient light of distant suns to wash over you in silver waves. You are drifting, weightless, within the cosmic quiet. The silver lifeline behind you undulates in slow, silent waves. In this vacuum, every movement is preserved, free from the friction of air. You are drifting through a river of solar wind, a gentle, invisible tide of protons flowing from the sun and bathing the station in a soft, golden radiance. The sun's light hits the station's massive solar arrays, turning them into sheets of shimmering gold. This energy is harvested in perfect silence, a rhythmic conversion of photons into life. Below, the atmosphere glows with a soft emerald airglow, the planet's quiet nighttime signature, etched against the deep, welcoming void. You are currently experiencing the grace of perpetual freefall. Though you travel at thousands of miles per hour, your senses perceive only a tranquil, weightless pause. Below, the Earth's horizon is a masterclass in optics, where sunlight bends through the stratosphere, painting a delicate neon blue rim against the absolute dark. The starlight arrives here as a steady, unwavering stream of ancient energy. Without the interference of air, the colors are deep and pure, burning reds and icy cyan. You are drifting through a cathedral of silence, where the universe's rhythmic clockwork turns with a patient, effortless, and timeless grace. Look at the station's handrails, their polished surfaces catching the sun. In this vacuum without air to erode or dull, the metal remains eternally pristine. Starlight reflects in sharp, geometric highlights, a rhythmic display of mathematical purity. You are a weightless observer in a world of absolute, unchanging clarity. Beyond the station, the vacuum is filled with a faint, pearlescent glow, the zodiacal light. It is the ghost of ancient comets catching the sun's rays. You drift through this ancient mist, a weightless observer of the slow, rhythmic clockwork that holds the heavens together in a silent, comforting embrace. The earth below is a slow-motion tapestry of white clouds and deep indigo oceans. You are orbiting at 17,000 miles per hour, yet the sensation is one of perfect, motionless repose. Every 90 minutes, the sun rises and sets a rhythmic heartbeat of light pulsing through the absolute comforting silence. As you glide into the long shadow of the planet, the sapphire glow of the horizon fades into a deep, bruised violet. This is the onset of orbital night, where the station's hull cools, shedding heat as invisible infrared wave. You move with unhurried grace through the velvet dark. With the sun hidden behind the Earth's massive curve, the stars bloom with startling clarity. They do not twinkle in this vacuum. They are steady, unblinking anchors in the ink, black dark. You are floating in a sea of ancient light, a weightless passenger in the universe's long, silent memory. The silence within your helmet is a steady, rhythmic hiss, the sound of your own life support. Outside, the vacuum is a perfect stillness. You are drifting through a field of starlight that has traveled for centuries, a weightless witness to the slow gravitational pulse of the ancient silver-dusted dark. Beneath your feet, the night side of the Earth reveals its own constellations. Cities glow like phosphorescent embers, interconnected by golden threads of light. This human landscape drifts slowly beneath you, a silent, rhythmic counterpoint to the distant stars. You are soaring through a sea of shadow, perfectly weightless, perfectly serene. Look at the polished surface of a nearby antenna. It reflects the entire galactic core as a soft, white smudge. In this vacuum, the light is perfectly sharp, tracing the station's geometry. You are a silent observer of this slow, silver-blue rhythm, drifting through the universe's ancient, unyielding heart. The vacuum is not truly empty. It is a field of potential. You are drifting through the soft, invisible streams of the cosmic microwave background, the ancient, cooling echo of the first light. It is a rhythmic, silent pulse, a gentle vibration connecting your atoms to the very dawn of time. The white fabric of your suit glows under the moon's pale light, appearing as a soft, ghostly marble. In this shadow, the contrast is absolute. Where the light ends, the dark begins with razor-sharp precision. You are drifting through this geometric piece, a weightless soul in the universe's quietest hour. As you approach the terminator line, a sliver of electric blue begins to trace the world's curve. This is the sun's light scattering through the high atmosphere. In this silence, colors bloom as if in slow motion, soft ambers and deep indigos weaving together in a rhythmic celestial sunrise. The sun's first rays crest the horizon, a brilliant white fire against the dark. This light is raw and unfiltered, striking your gold visor with a silent, rhythmic intensity. You feel the faint, expanding warmth on your suit, a subtle thermal greeting as you glide into the morning's steady golden brilliance. The station's solar arrays are now vast, golden wings, harvesting the silent river of photons flowing from the sun. In this vacuum, light is a physical presence, a gentle tide of energy that powers your small world. You glide alongside it, a weightless voyager in a rhythmic, golden-hued peace. In this radiant morning, you observe the sunlight scattering through the atmosphere below. It is a soft, sapphire mist, held by gravity in a silent, rhythmic dance. You are a weightless point of awareness, drifting through a sea of light where the only sound is the quiet pulse of infinity. The sun's rays strike the station's white surfaces, making them glisten like fresh snow. Below, the Sahara Desert appears as a vast golden ocean of sand without air. The colors are sharp and vibrant, a rhythmic tapestry of ochre and copper, unfolding in the silent, ancient light of morning. You are drifting on a sea of invisible light. The sun's radiation exerts a gentle pressure on your suit, a silent wind that nudges you forward. Inside your helmet, the air remains cool and fresh, a rhythmic tide of breath against the absolute stillness of the infinite, welcoming void. In this absolute silence, you watch the atmosphere below flare into a brilliant turquoise. This glow is the result of light dancing through gas, a rhythmic scattering that protects the world beneath. You are weightless, suspended in the cool clarity of the vacuum, a witness to the universe's quietest beauty. The vacuum is a realm of absolute transparency. You reach out, your gloved hand seemingly touching the stars. Without the dust of a planetary atmosphere, the light from distant suns is ancient and pure. It arrives in a slow, rhythmic stream, illuminating the silver geometry of the world you now inhabit. The sun's reflection on the Pacific is a brilliant, silent spark, tracking your slow progress. You notice the station's white hull glowing with a reflected sapphire radiance from the earth below. Every movement is a lesson in patience, a rhythmic glide through a sea of light and comforting shadow. In this frictionless void, your momentum is eternal and undisturbed. You are a satellite of thought, orbiting the blue marble with slow, predictable grace. The sun's light catches the fine dust on your visor, creating a soft, amber glow that follows the rhythmic pulse of your journey through the deep. As you move along the station's spine, the vacuum acts as a perfect stillness. You see the radiators shedding heat as a silent, invisible glow. Below, the atmosphere reveals its layers, a soft, luminescent ring of airglow that separates the living world from the eternal, tranquil silence of the cosmic void. Turn your gaze once more toward the galactic disk. The dark lanes of cosmic dust are not empty. They are the cradles of future suns drifting in a slow, gravitational sleep. This ancient cycle of stellar birth and death is the universe's own rhythmic breath, unfolding across timescales that invite absolute, weightless peace. In the vacuum, starlight remains a constant, steady pour of silver. Without an atmosphere to drag upon your progress, you glide with perfect efficiency. Every movement is a lesson in patience, a rhythmic signature written in the dark. You are floating through a cathedral of silence, perfectly still, perfectly calm. Notice the station's titanium skin contracting soundlessly as you enter a pocket of shadow. This thermal rhythm is a silent breath of physics. Within your helmet, you carry the faint, metallic scent of the stars, a chemical whisper of the void, drifting through the ancient, silver-dusted dark of infinity. The vacuum is perfectly transparent, a window into the ancient past. Light from distant galaxies arrives as a soft, pearly glow, traveling for aeons across the still void. You are drifting through this ancient energy, a silent passenger in the universe's slow, rhythmic expansion. Cradled by the quiet, silver-dusted dark, your orbit carries you over the limb of the world, where the atmosphere glows in thin, luminous layers. A vibrant cyan yields to a soft, hazy violet. This spectral gradient is a silent, rhythmic bloom, a symphony of light playing across the obsidian stage of the infinite, welcoming void. You are a silent witness to this prismatic shift. Below, the sunlight reflects off a bank of towering thunderclouds, creating a dazzling, silent white. In the vacuum, this brilliance is sharp and clean. You are drifting in a rhythmic arc, held by the steady, invisible pull of the world below. The silver lifeline behind you undulates in the dark, a silent ribbon, tracing your path through the void. Each movement is a gentle ripple in a frictionless sea. Around you, the station's solar arrays drink in the sun's steady glow, a rhythmic harvest of light within the universe's absolute, welcoming silence. The vacuum acts as a perfect stillness, a stillness you can almost feel against your suit. Sunlight strikes the station's radiators, shedding heat in invisible waves of infrared. You watch this silent exchange, a rhythmic breathing of energy between your small world and the vast, cold and silver-dusted dark. Your every movement is an exercise in inertia, a slow, persistent glide through the velvet stillness. In this vacuum, momentum is a precious, lingering gift. You watch the stars, steady and unblinking, as you trace a silent, rhythmic arc through the universe's ancient clockwork, perfectly weightless and profoundly at peace. The gold-plated visor of your helmet softens the sun's radiance, casting a warm, amber glow over your silent world. Here, light travels in perfect, straight lines, striking the station with mathematical precision. You watch the shadows crawl with rhythmic grace, a slow-motion clockwork guiding your weightless journey through the dark. Sunlight grazes the Earth's edge, scattering into a thin, ghostly halo. This is the exosphere, where individual atoms are miles apart, separated by the silent, yawning void. You are drifting through this invisible frontier, a weightless observer of the slow, rhythmic transition from the world's breath to the infinite stillness. The Earth below is a masterpiece of fluid motion. From this height, the swirling storms in the Pacific are silent sculptures of cloud and light. You are moving in a steady, rhythmic orbit, governed by the ancient, invisible hands of gravity. Every rotation is a slow-motion dance through the velvet, comforting void. The sun's white light hits small crystals of ice, venting from your suit's sublimator. They sparkle like microscopic diamonds, drifting away in straight, silent line. This is the rhythmic breath of your cooling system, a quiet, mechanical pulse in the vast, silver-dusted dark of the infinite. Beyond the station, the Milky Way arches in a long, dusty ribbon of cream and silver. These are vast nebulae, nurseries where gravity pulls hydrogen into new suns over millions of years. You watch this slow, silent alchemy, a rhythmic pulse of life in the infinite, comforting dark. Your silver tether floats in a slow-motion curve, a silent companion in the dark. Below, the Earth's blue limb is a soft, glowing arc of sapphire. This thin shield of gas is held by the same patient gravity that guides your weightless drift through the infinite, silver-dusted void. In this vacuum, the stars are steady, unblinking anchors. Without the atmosphere's distortion, they burn with a relentless crystalline clarity. You watch as a distant planet, perhaps Saturn, glows like a tiny golden marble against the deep velvet. Everything is in its place, moving with a silent, mathematical certainty through the dark. Your gloved fingers trail along the station's gold foil skin, sensing only the subtle pressure of your suit's interior. In this vacuum, heat leaves your body as invisible infrared waves, a silent cooling. You are a warm hearth in the deep cold, drifting through a rhythmic, silver-dusted dark without end. The sun begins to slide behind the curve of the earth, a silent, clockwork occurrence. You watch the Terminator line crawl across the continents, a soft boundary of shadow. Below, the vibrant sapphire of the oceans deepens into a rich, bruised indigo. All is calm, a rhythmic cycle of light and dark. As the sun vanishes, a sliver of emerald light flares along the Earth's rim, the prismatic breath of the atmosphere. In the sudden dark, your visor's amber tint fades, revealing the raw, silver needles of the star. You are drifting, weightless, in a silent, ancient sea of starlight and shadow. In this shadow, the vacuum remains the ultimate insulator. Your suit's heaters respond with a gentle, rhythmic pulse, maintaining a sanctuary of warmth. Outside, the stillness is absolute, a perfect clarity, where the only movement is the slow, effortless drift of your body through the silver-dusted dark of infinity. Below, the dark continents reveal themselves through the golden bioluminescent webs of city lights. From this height, human civilization appears as a quiet, rhythmic glow against the indigo velvet. This light travels through the vacuum with effortless grace, a silent signal of life within the infinite, comforting embrace of the dark. In this deep shadow, the Milky Way becomes a brilliant, frosted arch above you. This ancient light, traveling for thousands of years through the vacuum, illuminates your white suit with a ghostly glow. You are a silent traveler, caught in the rhythmic, eternal swing of gravity's long and patient pendulum. The absolute silence here is a presence you can feel, the sound of time itself unfolding. You are drifting in a perfect arc, a satellite of consciousness held by the Earth's soft, invisible tether. The stars do not flicker, they burn with a steady, silver resolve through the deep, comforting void. The Earth below shares a soft, ghostly light known as Earthshine. This faint albedo bathes the dark side of the station in a cool, silver-blue glow. Even in the deepest shadow, you are never truly alone. The planet offers a reflected, rhythmic memory of the sun's distant, golden warmth. Your fingertips press lightly against the station's titanium boom, a touch anchored in a sea of weightlessness. Here, the stars are not distant pinpricks, but overwhelming furnaces of ancient light. You are drifting through a cathedral of physics, where every atom moves in a slow, rhythmic, and silent dance. The cooling loops inside your station pulse with a steady, rhythmic flow of ammonia, carrying the warmth of life away into the vast, waiting cold. This invisible circulation is the ship's heartbeat. Below, the atmosphere reveals a thin, neon green ribbon of airglow, the planet's silent exhale into the silver-dusted dark. The vacuum around you is a desert of atoms, a space so clear that light travels for aeons without losing its way. You observe a distant nebula, a gossamer veil of rose and emerald gas drifting in the stillness. It is the universe's slow, rhythmic breath, frozen in a timeless, silent masterpiece. Watch as a steady star approaches the Earth's dark horizon. As it grazes the high, thin gases, its light shifts into a warm sunset amber before vanishing behind the planet's curve. This silent occultation is a rhythmic tick of the cosmic clock, marking your effortless drift through the velvet void. In this frictionless sea, you are a master of momentum. Every gentle nudge of your hand is preserved by the unyielding laws of inertia. You move alongside the station like a shadow of silver, drifting through a river of ancient light. The universe is a rhythmic machine, turning in silent, weightless grace. Gravity conducts this slow-motion symphony. Below, the continents are moving, but at a speed imperceptible to the eye. This is the silent tectonic clockwork of Aeon. You are soaring above it all, a weightless voyager, guided by the same rhythmic, invisible hand that holds the stars in their ancient orbit. Look away from the planet's brilliance. In the deep dark opposite the sun, a soft oval glow appears the Gegenschein, interplanetary dust, reflecting sunlight from millions of miles away. It is a faint, rhythmic pulse of the solar system's vast history, held in the perfect silent stillness of the void. The vacuum is a perfect insulator, holding your warmth close. Above, the stars remain unblinking eyes in a field of obsidian. You are a silent observer of the station's titanium bones, watching the shadows stretch with a slow, rhythmic grace as you glide through the universe's quiet, mathematical heart. The Milky Way arches overhead, a silent, frozen splash of light across the obsidian floor of the void. You are a part of this slow-motion wheel, rotating with a majesty that defies human time. In this vacuum, light remains a constant, rhythmic presence, bathing you in ancient silver-blue peace. The moon's pale, reflected light catches the station's white modules, turning them into cylinders of pearl. In this absolute vacuum, the highlights are sharp and the shadows deep. You are a weightless observer, drifting through this silver-tinted world, held in the rhythmic ancient pull of the planet below. Every atom in your body was once forged in the heart of an ancient star. As you drift here, you feel that silent, rhythmic connection, a pulse between your own life and the distant suns. You are a child of the cosmos, floating in the dark, weightless and perfectly safe. Gravity and momentum are locked in a perfect, silent embrace. You are falling around the earth, caught in a perpetual loop of peace. Below, the blue horizon is a soft, neon blue line against the ink of space. Above, the stars remain steady. Time feels irrelevant in this weightless, rhythmic state. The station's cooling pipes shed their last reserves of thermal energy into the void. This heat travels as invisible infrared light, a soundless pulse radiating into the deep cold. You are drifting in this pocket of perfect balance, where every movement is a slow, rhythmic whisper of ancient, unchanging physics. Sunlight catches the edge of the airlock, a golden rim against the black. You observe the station's intricate lattice, a masterpiece of engineering held in the vacuum's perfect stillness. You glide through this silver architecture with unhurried grace, a weightless traveler drifting within the universe's slow, rhythmic and silent clockwork. Below you, the sapphire world turns with ancient rhythmic deliberation. You are soaring through the exosphere, where the last traces of Earth's atmosphere dissolve into the perfect clarity of the void. Here, every atom is a silent witness to the clockwork of the heavens, held in the universe's warm, weightless embrace. Feel the subtle, rhythmic pulse of starlight as it washes over you. Traveling through the absolute clarity of the void, you are gliding in a perfect circle, an effortless orbit held by the Earth's soft, invisible hands. Everything is still, everything is calm, drifting in the universe's slow, silver-blue memory. The station's skin pulses with the faint, rhythmic transition as it slips back into the velvet shadow. Around you, The absolute silence is a physical presence, a comforting cloak of nothingness. You are suspended in the universe's great, unmoving heart, watching the slow silver light of ancient galaxies drift by. Let the cosmic voyage settle. Your orbit brings you home to a deep, internal stillness. Remember, you are made of ancient stardust, a piece of the universe resting now. Transition from the vastness to the warmth of sleep. You are calm, you are held, drift into the void. Good night.